Hello students, welcome to another class of your favorite subject, biology. We have learned so far about respiration in human beings, and now we are going to learn about the respiration in plants. So does it occur in day or does it occur at night? We are going to learn so many things. So just think about these questions. Do plants respire? What organs help them to respire? How is the oxygen gas circulated in the plants? And how do mangrove plants respire? To understand all these, first let us have a good idea about the structure of leaf and its anatomy. So you know that the leaf has different types of tissues in it. The uppermost layer is that of epidermis, and next comes the palisade parenchyma, in which you know that a lot of chloroplasts are present, and there is also some spongy tissue and vascular bundles like xylem and phloem, and the lowermost layer is that of the epidermis once again, which contains a many number of stomata. You have learned that stomata help in the exchange of gases. So let us take a close look of these stomatal structures. There are two kidney shaped cells which we call as the guard cells, and they can open and close. When the stoma is closed, you can see that the shape is close together and there is no possibility of exchange of gases. But when the stomata is open, the pore known as the stoma, it allows the exchange of gases. So the oxygen from the environment enters inside and the carbon dioxide can leave the leaf. There are also some structures which you can see in mature plants. If you observe carefully a tree trunk with its brown bark, there are some oval structures with a small opening on it. These structures are known as lenticels. It is through these structures also the oxygen and carbon dioxide gases can be exchanged. Now take a look at this picture. Yes, you are right children, these are the marshy trees which we call as the mangroves. They grow in the wetland areas where the river water meets the ocean water, and they have the special structures which are coming out from the ground known as pneumatophores or breathing roots. They are also known as aerial roots. So the mangrove trees of the tropics have these aerial roots above the soil surface, and they take in oxygen through these roots. Now let us see how the roots of any plant can get the aeration. So in the soil, there are spaces between the soil particles, and most plants can aerate their roots by taking in the oxygen through the lenticels or through the surface of their root hairs, as their walls are very thin, and they obtain oxygen from the air spaces that are existing in between the cell particles. But in case of the mangroves, the plants which grow in very wet places such as the ponds or marshy soils are unable to obtain the oxygen in that way. So they are adapted to these waterlogged conditions by having much larger air spaces which connect the stems with the aerial roots, making diffusion from the upper parts much more efficient. Now observe the second picture children. What is this? This is the most unusual adaptation. See that this plant has a hollow stem. It's empty inside. So next time when you are by a pond or a marsh, you cut the stem of some of the plants which are growing there, and you can see how many of them are hollow compared with the similar number of aerial plants. Now once the gases enter inside these plants, how are they conducted? How do they move from one place to another or from one tissue to another, and how does the carbon dioxide finally come out? So take a look at this picture which shows the longitudinal section of the stomatal opening. You can see here that the two guard cells are present and there is possibility of gases to enter in this space. Once it enters inside the leaf, then what happens? You can see that there are a lot of intercellular spaces in this tissue. That means there is a lot of space which is present in between the cells. So the stomatal openings lead to a series of spaces between the cells inside the plant. This forms a continuous network all over the plant. That means there is a space or a route or a pathway of emptiness all over the plant, starting right from the stomatal opening up to each and every edge of the plant. And these spaces are very large in the leaves but much smaller in other parts of the plant. And the air spaces are lined with a thin film of water where the oxygen is dissolved in this, and it passes through the porous cell walls into the cytoplasm of the cells. Now once it reaches the various cells or the different kinds of tissues, the oxygen is then reacted with the glucose and it follows the aerobic pathway of respiration which we have learnt earlier, and as a result the carbon dioxide gas is produced along with some energy. This we have already learnt it as cellular respiration. So here the glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide and water with the liberation of energy, and that carbon dioxide again passes out into the air spaces by a similar method. That is, once again the carbon dioxide enters in from the cells into the air space by being dissolved in the water film, and it moves to different parts of the plant and finally it moves out through the stomatal opening. So this whole system actually works by the principle of diffusion, and as the oxygen is used up by the cells in the respiration, a gradient develops between the cells and the air in the spaces. That means there is a difference in the concentration of oxygen inside the cells and outside the cells. So basically in the diffusion in plants, the carbon dioxide and oxygen move in and out of the plants through the leaves, and the diffusion happens when there is a low concentration gradient. That is, wherever there is less concentration, the gas moves towards that area, that is from high to low concentration. So at a particular stage the diffusion looks as if it has stopped. Now if you see overall what happens during the day and during the night. Similarly, between the air in the spaces and the air outside the stomata and the lenticels, so the oxygen passes in. In the same way, as more carbon dioxide is released by the cells, a gradient occurs in the reverse direction and it passes out to the environment. So in this way, children, during the daytime, more amount of carbon dioxide is entering in through the stomata and oxygen is going out, whereas during the night time more amount of oxygen is going into the leaves and carbon dioxide is coming out. In this way both the processes, photosynthesis and respiration, are balanced. And remember, the rate of respiration in plants is much higher at night time compared to the daytime, and that is why it is suggested not to sleep under the large trees during night time. So now children, you have the answers to all the questions that we had pondered about earlier. Do plants respire? Yes, most definitely they do respire because they are living things. But what organs help them to respire? They have stomata, lenticels and other such organs. But how is this oxygen gas circulated in the plants? It is circulated by the process of diffusion. And how do mangrove plants respire? They respire with the help of special routes called aerial routes or breathing routes or pneumatophores. So that's all for today, children. Now you must all write down the questions and their answers what you have seen at the end of the video. Thank you.